willst du Schokolade? Oder so eine?
Ja.
Eine Hälfte. Eine Hälfte wieder.
Nix
Das-
will ich, nix will ich.
So I missed all that. Could you repeat it, please?
So this is also talking. See, because I am not aware of all those things, and I don't know. You all the time having this by ear and blank, and I don't realize that you are doing all those things. Well, when the President Benesch came to visit Brno, so all the German people had to be locked in for the weekend, and I stayed at the school, and next to us a lady with her daughter were sleeping, and we didn't have nowhere to stay because we were bombed out. So we were going from one relative or friend to stay overnight, and that lady with her daughter, whose name was Lydia, after her I called you, and so now I've forgotten the.
You were lying on the floor in the...
Yes, and they had a big flat, and they had to take somebody in because they were. The Mrs. Kretschmer, she was Czech like my mother, but her husband was a German, but he died. She was widow of a very big. They were very well-to-do, and they had a big flat, so they let us have a room, and so we were staying there with them, and in the house that was first floor, and the third floor was the director from social service, and we as German, we had to every day to register for going to work, and so I every day somewhere else. So I went to the hospital. It was bombed out as well, and so helping to clean up, and every day somewhere else. And through that one time, through that. What I said?
Social service?
Social service director. So I met him, and I was cleaning at their house, at their flat, and so he organized for me to do the mothercraft nursing. Because I wanted to be, during the war, I was working as a kindergarten helper. I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. But the Czech said I would influence the children with my Germanness, so they wouldn't let me study. So that's what I was very glad that very glad that I did do the mothercraft nursing. I was for 3 years until I left for France. And when I came to Australia, so I did get pregnant, so I was very glad that I had the knowledge of looking after babies, because no mother, no auntie, nobody around here. I just had to look after you as best as I could. We had very good neighbors, Renge and Mrs. Kiss, remember Mrs. Kiss? And so we had just a small bungalow, and when Ronald was born, so they came like 3 fairies when I came from the hospital. So each of them brought something for the baby, and for me some food. Mrs. Kiss, I remember, a cake, and so it was really very nice. That's what I find now sad, that all the people we were like family, more or less. they all died, and so I'm the only one left. And the new people, they are mostly renting only, and so they haven't got the connection with us. Each of them does their own thing,
Yeah, that's like us in Austria. No, we're only renting. So not much to do with the neighbours.
and have you any neighbors?
Yeah, actually the farmer, well, there's a vineyard next door, so there's a farmer comes to make his wine.
Walter lives in Neustift.
Yeah. And he's friendly, I mean he...
Yeah.
But you said he's from South Australia.
Behind, the other, beside
You, especially when you talking between yourselves and I can't hear it or hear something completely different. So this is just you have to what is it?
Understand?
Yes, understand that well. I am an old woman and I have, you know, you are now Mr. Osichka told us it's the best thing to chop the head off, but put it in a drum so they shake the blood out. And well, I was holding the legs, and Dad chopped the head off, and I was there standing, the blood going all over, and we didn't have a drum at the time, so I was holding it, and Dad ran away. So
I don't mind blood, I just don't like killing things.
No, that's what and another time, when Gary was baptized, Mrs. Osichka was the godmother, and she gave us I don't know, 5 or 6 chickens for the meal. And I asked my neighbor, because that was after the duck thing, the Italian neighbor, so I asked him to please if he could kill our chooks. And he promised yes, but then when it happened, that was around Easter time, he forgot and he was not around. So it was nearly lunchtime and the chooks were still running around. So I had to go and chop their heads off and cook them. See, so that's what you hear the stories, what my experience is.
My friend Anne-Marie, the one who I'm being her maid of honor, she is really used to killing animals. And I was at her
Rabbits.
like, look at these baby rabbits.
Too. See, we were living in a flat in the city, the first story. So there were no gardens, nothing. But we had a garden outside town. And so I had to, either in the morning before school, riding the bike, to go to feed the rabbits, or after school, and also watering whatever needed to water. And my father made a nice rabbit cage, yes, so they could sleep in the warm, but they could also run around, and it was everything safe. So before school, several times I went by. My father had a half runner bike, racing bike. Yes. So I never had a ladies' bike. I had been riding.
Did anybody ever steal your rabbit?
Pardon?
Did anybody ever steal your rabbit?
No.
Nowadays they would probably pinch it.
Yeah, you wouldn't last the night.
That were only gardens. No, I don't think anybody was living there. Maybe they could, but no. Yes, so...
I remember my nunnu and nanny, they used to have rabbits.